And let's see, a ring here with, ooh, 2 pips of RN, but unfortunately, strength -5, a bit of a deal breaker here. That will put us into collapse space. Otherwise, this is beautiful though. I need that intelligence, I need that positive energy. It's a dang shame that we won't be seeing it here, but hey, we'll just keep moving forward for the time being here, not worry too much about it one way or another. I'm sure we'll figure it out in the long run regardless, just have to believe. And this is definitely turning into a much better scenario for us to deal with all of our friends. We stay nice and safe, and again, this wide open area gives the Orbs of Destruction plenty of time to spin up and deal full damage to all of our new and exciting pals. You included, my friend. Oh geez, Spellforge Servitor already out of the mix. Let's bring you back into it, shall we? And by our powers combined, we should be able to do a fairly decent job of fighting off all of our new friends. And continue to do so. Fantastic. We'll actually head upstairs to do the last bit of healing here, make sure we actually get up to full magic for once, before heading once more into the breach. Scroll of Amnesia we will be using at some point in the near future here, I'm sure. We have a lot of old spells that we've just kind of held on to for no real reason. One spell that we probably do want to get online pretty quick here, and in fact might already be fully castable, is Apportation. As we head off into Pan and Hell, it becomes super handy to be able to snatch those runes in advance, just in case you do have to beat a hasty retreat. It's nice to at least grab that on your way, save you a trip back into the branches of Hell in the future. And if we actually take a look, I think we have Apportation. Oh, I was about to say no, but there it is. Fantastic. Just 1 spell level. Let's learn that now before I forget, because I'm very liable to do so. And that should be just about perfect for the time being here. Our hasted pal with, oh, potions. Almost a shame you wasted the 1 potion of haste, my friend. But not the end of the world. And we'll just keep on keeping on, finishing off the rest of Zot 2, and then we'll do another little bit of a recap to see where we're currently sitting. This exclusion can probably go by now, and that is just wonderful. Oh, hello there, my tentacled pal. Goodbye. At least I'm hoping it's a goodbye. Should be relatively soon. There we go. Fantastic. Great work, Servitor. Keep it up. And that is wonderful. So we're up to 11.3 Earth Magic. Come on, Lahudibs. How are we looking? How are we feeling? Are we getting close? 63%. So it's definitely getting there. And I want to give it a bit of a buffer in case we suffer some detrimental deterioration to our stats here, especially once we get to Hell. That very much becomes a factor. So we'll try to keep that in mind for the future. Okie dokes. I guess I might as well pick up the gold while we're at it here, and then let's head on down, shall we? So we immediately get twisted and deformed, losing out on some of our extra AC here, but not the end of the world. We can throw out a few irradiates. And then I actually want to just get some ground between us so that either one of me or my servitor get a fully charged Orb Destruction, and okie dokes. I mean, normally this would be a kind of 6.3. You know, a lot of the runs I'm kind of skipping through the levels and not wanting to worry about exploring the whole thing. In this case, though, a little bit disastrously limited here, so let's try to play it a little bit safer, and we'll head off to see a very interesting vault that I have no plans of visiting at any point. Jeez Louise, that looks terrifying. Though at some point we have to get fairly comfortable with dealing with the Sentinels, because we will be seeing a decent number of them once we get down to Hell, of course. But we will burn that bridge when we get there. For the time being, let's just thank our lucky stars that we're not seeing too many sketchy encounters here. Everything is relatively manageable, and that is fantastic. Okie dokie. Hearing lots of, I think I saw grinding noise messages coming up, so I would assume that that's a cacodemon somewhere or another, ready to very much ruin our evening here. And there we go, Earth Magic hitting 12 didn't quite get us there if I had to guess. So let's switch you up to 14 and see how that does. We're also attacking now at 0.6, so that's not too bad. And let's see, having hit the cap, again, probably hasn't come down a lot since the above floor, 56. Pretty soon, my servitor friend, you'll be picking up the pace here in terms of damage, and I very much look forward to it. For the time being here, though, let's whip out the irradiates on our friend here. Jeez Louise. A little bit closer than I would have liked. I guess we'll always kind of struggle with invisible enemies, even with our Spellforged buddy, but that is just a part of life now, and we'll have to figure it out one way or another. Let's swap over to some ignition to try and take care of our big electrical dragons as soon as possible. Fantastic. And come on, servitor, I believe in you. Perfect. Don't 1v1 my servitor. Take that down in my notepad here. Fantastic. Though I definitely learned my lesson last week. Again, far too many near-death experiences at the hands of my own buddy and pal here. But not too shabby. And now that we're getting a little bit closer to having Lahudibs up and running for the servitor, I think I will just learn it, so that as soon as we kind of hit over the limit there, we're in a pretty decent spot. And let's just try to launch as many orbs of destruction as we can at you before you go invisible. Fantastic. Great work. And keep on keeping on here. Not too shabby. All things considered, beautiful work, my servitor friend. Shut uppercut? Why, hello there. Demonspawn of Quaslal. Very interesting. Well, not very likely to fight you. I have a bit of a personal rule of not engaging with any Zot vaults unless absolutely necessary, and I don't see why it would be on this character, so we'll probably just be leaving that by the wayside. Playing it a wee bit safe here. As my tab starts bringing us towards the enemies in there. I always find it kind of weird whether an enemy will count as insight or not in this game. There's some strange situations that arise when glass walls get involved, but hey, not too shabby here, and we'll just keep blitzing our way through all of our new friends. Let's head upstairs for a full heal here, make sure that we have all the space in the world to relax, let our guard down, have a good time. And another heal wounds potion definitely is nice to see. And this should actually be a lot of the level cleared. I did forget to magic map again. Not the end of the world one way or another. I'm alright with that at the end of the day here. And +1 pair of boots. Not as good as my +2 pair of boots, of course. So we'll leave those alone for the time being here. Oh, let's definitely not be in the firing range between our friend and the enemy here. Beautiful. That is looking much better, all things considered. And how are we looking? We're at 50%. So are you gonna... No, you're still using Orb of Destruction. Interesting. Does it need to be below 50%? 50% doesn't count? Maybe? Maybe, just maybe? In that case, just a wee bit more training here before our servitor hits unparalleled new levels of power and destruction. I look forward to it. And hopefully we see that come to fruition here. Ooh, I think I just saw Crystal Sphere, baby. Fantastic. So okie dokie, our servitor is going to be laying down a crap ton of damage here as we continue forward. That very much puts us in a good spot. We might as well finish clearing Zot 4. We'll probably be leaving Zot 5 completely alone for the time being here, not worrying too much about that. And that will put us in a very decent spot moving forward. Maybe it's a gentleman's rounded 50. Must be. But regardless, it is a thing of beauty now that it is fully operational. Fantastic. Love to see it. And in fact, Surtur, I can kind of just let you do all the heavy lifting now, I feel. You're going to be in a pretty decent spot, all things considered. Let us... think about when we want to escape. We have this shifter here who's very likely to either blink us off the stairs or encircle us with enemies. So in that regard, let's just play it safe. We'll get the heck out of dodge and try to re-engage with all of our lovely new friends from a slightly better perspective here. In fact, this should be just about ideal. Why, hello there. Or not. Come on, Servitor, you can do it, pal. I believe in you. I'm just gonna let you do all the heavy lifting, pretty much. Fantastic. And not too shabby whatsoever. Definitely puts us in a fairly decent spot against all of our new friends here. And I'm trying to remember, how close are we to max enchantment, are you? Do we have... does it say it here? I used to know off the top of my head how strong Wormbane can get. And of course, for anyone not in the know, when you first get it, all dragon kills, good to go. That's going to give you a bonus. As you continue upwards, only the strongest dragons will continue to increment it. I think we have at least one more. It feels weird that it's on an odd number. I feel like it rounds out to something nice and even, but who knows? Definitely could be wrong there. And regardless, I think at the top level, you just have, like, the black dragons, negative dragons, death dragons, whatever they're called, are definitely up there in terms of power level. I think even storm dragons are relatively high up the tier list. But there we go. Earth magic can probably sit tight for now. We're probably in a pretty decent spot. Hey, St. Ras, you think 18 is max? Okay, so we just have the one more. And yeah, I believe it's just... there are only like 1 or 2 dragons that continue to increment at this point. I'm trying to remember if like bone dragons rank higher. I don't think gold dragons are good enough. They're like the second highest tier, second highest echelon of dragons when it comes to Wormbane's improvements. I think it's just black dragons. And okay, you think golden is good enough? Okay, I could definitely be wrong about that. So that's fantastic, because we're fairly likely to be able to take care of a gold dragon here. Not too shabby whatsoever. And if you could just keep launching those crystal spears, my friend, fantastic. It's gold, iron, or pearl. Okay, good to know. Thanks, St. Russ, for the tip there. Always appreciate it. And bone does count. Okay, I was wondering. It was racking my brain to remember if bone was included in there. Oh, okay, I think I just accidentally hit my inventory button. There we go. That completely broke my brain for a hot moment there, but fantastic. And not too shabby. So there we are. Cleared through to Zot 4. We're in a pretty decent spot here. We have Lahudib's Crystal Spear online, which means we are pretty much good to go when it comes to heading towards Pan or Hells. And to start off, we probably want to begin clearing out the Vestibule of Hell. That's a nice place to start, even though I'm fairly likely, unless something suddenly and drastically changes my mind, I'm fairly likely to be going to Pan first. That's my preferred route for the extended game, but always a good idea to at least clear the Vestibule. We could buff in advance, maybe a little bit. We'll do a Potion of Haste since we have plenty of those in our back pocket. Hey Brain, how's it going? Let's check this out, shall we? Hey there, Garyon. Don't see Murray yet. So that's interesting. But we'll let our new friends start to just come in here. I guess what we could be doing is pulling out all the stops with evocations. Except for Condenser Vein, I'll wait until we're a little busier here. And yes, let's clone Garyon. That seems like a nice idea. Garyon does have a long reach with their tail here, so we do have to keep that in mind. They can be hitting us as of right now. And they will also bring in unlimited amounts of hell beasts over the course of a fight, so let's try to just take you out as fast as we possibly can. And like not quite enough enemies for me to start whipping out the ignition yet. Let's maybe go for a couple more quick tab attacks. And screw it. A little bit of ignition. Never hurt anybody. That should allow us to kill Garyon pretty dang quick here. In fact, he's just about out of it. There we go. Fantastic. And then we can, by and large, just clear out the rest of the vestibule without too much issues one way or another. We'll even just reset now that we've taken care of the majority of the danger there, the majority of the threat. This puts us in a nice spot to just stare dance a little bit. Take it easy, have a good time, relax even. And that should be beautiful. Okie dokes. Starting to see a few more friends than I would like here, so let's bring out the servitor, let's bring out the ignition, which of course isn't going to do much to our sun demon pals here, but a lot of the other ones are at least relatively vulnerable to it. At what point do we start becoming a bit more worried and panicking? It's definitely getting closer and closer even as we speak. Could go for a potion petition here, try to put ourselves in a good spot. Brilliance, magic, and heal wounds. Actually seems pretty sick here, so that's beautiful. And let's keep just igniting the night here before swapping over to irradiates to take care of all of our fire resistant or immune friends here. And then me and my servitor should be in a pretty decent spot to just mop up here, just finish off the rest of these sons of guns. I say as suddenly more and more enemies come crawling out of the woodwork, of course. There is no end to the vitriol of hell here, but we'll do our best to continue just reducing the numbers as much as we possibly can here. Again, at least we have very good fire resistance, so though fire immune enemies are kind of a pain in the butt to us, it's also not the end of the world, because at least we're in a bit of a stalemate. You know, we can't hurt them, they can't hurt us. That puts me in a pretty happy spot, all things considered. 72 health is getting me pretty close to stepping out of here temporarily. And in fact, let's do so since we will be bringing a couple of our friends with us here. Fantastic. And then we're pretty much good to go clearing everyone up. Great job, Servitor. Keep up the good work. And once more, into the breach, shall we? Okie dokes. Didn't expect a sun trip, a visit to the abyss here. It's been a hot minute, but we should be able to get our way to an escape gate pretty dang quickly since we have the rune in our possession. Until then, this will be just a nice opportunity to get some experience, get some extra gold, all that good stuff. Of course, Abyss 5, not necessarily somewhere we want to hang around longer than absolutely necessary, but not the worst spot for us in our current position here as fighting continues to raise there. Let's go back into our spellcasting now. I know that we wanted to get Firestorm online at some point, so let's give it a shot, shall we? Continue spellcasting coming up while we're at it. Extra magic power definitely helps out a great deal. And what else? I guess we could take a look. Are there any other spells that we want coming online anytime soon? We talked about statue form as an option, so we could take a quick peek as to where that's sitting here. There you are, 86%. So still a decent ways off. Train transmutations would definitely decrease that relatively quickly. Is there anything else I want transmutations for as well? We could try for like Necumutation shift at some point. That's pretty far down the road here. That's going to take a lot of training to get online. That'd probably be mostly useful for if we do want to go with like Ziggurat clearing at the end. Oh, you thought they removed experience from the Abyss? I haven't played the last few patches though. Yeah, they added it back in here, but with some additional changes, because I believe the change to make Abyss 7 floors, as well as anytime you exit, going back in now brings you down to the lowest floor that you've been to previously. So they've at the very least changed up the way that Abyss flows here, and I think that it's a fairly decent change, because yeah, it's no longer giving no experience, which was just a nightmare, all things considered, but on top of that, or on the flip side of that, it's still not ideal for just farming around here, because of course you will pretty quickly find your way in the deeper levels with nothing you can really do about it. Jeez Louise, this is quite the welcoming party here. Hello, my friends. Yes, come one, come all. Probably should bring a servitor back into the mix here, as no exit makes itself available to us. But we'll get rid of our Wretched Star friend. I think that's what you are, right? Yeah, Wretched Star, those bad boys. It's good that no experience wasn't fun. I agree. It was abysmal, and to the point where in the last, like, half of our series, we just refused to go to the Abyss for our third rune. Just wasn't worth it. So I'm glad that they took that into account and made some changes, because now it's in a pretty good spot, where it's still a tough place to be, but no longer just frustratingly annoying with the transient mutations constantly coming down your way. But okie dokes, any day now we should be able to get the portal out of here to appear. Maybe, just maybe, we'll want to be in a pretty decent spot ourselves when we do so, because we will, of course, not be getting a free lunch after we leave here. It does just bring us right back out into the heck itself, or the vestibule to it, I should say. If we get some crystal spears here, my servitor pal. No, not quite. Oof. As our angel friend just continues to heal over and over again, but there we go. Bring themselves close enough for an irradiate, then I can just have fight through the rest of these sons of guns without too much concern. And that should be a gate out if I had to guess. Beautiful. Anything for us to pick up? I don't think so. Slight risk deciding to fight here a little bit, but I do want to try to rest up, get as much magic as I can back before we head once more into the breach, because this son of a gun hits like a gosh darn truck. Up to 50 damage twice. Oof, that is definitely less than ideal, as well as having 300 health. Just absurd. Let's bring the servitor in and let's start blasting here, shall we? We can start off with the irradiates, build up our contamination so that that's at least kind of falling off as we continue to fight. Heal wounds and haste, that's a decent combo. But there we go, that's that heavy damage that we were concerned about here. Think I can risk at least one more turn, but we do want to start thinking about getting out of here in one piece, excuse me. So we have plenty of blink scrolls to head over to these stairwells and stay safe. Alternatively, I could bring these three up with me. Do I have any interest in this? That's something I probably should have done earlier in the fight. Just isolated this bad boy so that our servitor was getting nice clear shots to them the entire time. Whoopsie daisies. As is, I think I will go for an early blinking here, just get ourselves to relative safety. Maybe get in a blast on our way out, try and do a little bit extra damage on top of that. Let's see what we get with Condenser Vein, shall we? Maybe Acid Clouds is actually fantastic. One of the few things that even affects our buddy here. So turns out we're hanging out here for a moment. I'm gonna do another potion petition, bring ourselves back into the mix. Wonderful. And we'll just keep blasting, shall we? Very least, once we've kind of cleared up a path, I can start whipping out the Orbs of Destruction to also help out with dealing with our Iron Golem friend. And let us hopefully finish you off relatively quickly here. Not too shabby. There we go. Iron Golem down, and that puts us in a much safer spot. So now I can kind of freely tab my way through. Want to be careful not to step off the stairwell, just in case things take another dire turn. But that looks like most of the vestibule cleared for us. Beautiful. And let's go get the horn, shall we? Horn of Garyon here. Won't be using this shield in the future. Fantastic. I always pick it up. I don't really use it too much over the course of a run, but it's still nice to have. I'm a sucker for anything that is one of a kind and unique in the game. Which is why I'm obsessed with unrand arts across the board as well. But fantastic. Let's just quickly blast our way around here, finishing off all of the remaining enemies. Nothing should be too bad after the severe group therapy session that we had in the center with all of our friends there, and perfect, there we go. That's most likely Coctus. This looks like Dis if I had to guess. Let's put ourselves into a nice little corner here, and in fact irradiate you just a wee bit, my friend. Heal up, and this maybe puts us just in sight range of one statue, so that's better. And similarly, I'd like to keep this to a one-on-one as much as I possibly can. Beautiful. So we reach our final level, level 27. It's tough. I need the intelligence for bringing cast rates down. Strength of 5 is slightly concerning to me in Hell, because anytime we take a stairwell down, we're going to be hit by some of the intrinsic effects of Hell, one of which is losing between 1 to 5 attribute points. And if we lose 5 strength, we're in trouble. Not a good spot. If we lose any intelligence, though, I guess also not a good spot. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. No matter what, it's looking like a bit of a crap sandwich. Let's go with a bit of strength. It's a bit weird, but it will also potentially help out a little bit with our casting rate, seeing as how the encumbrance rating was 7 on this bad boy. We hadn't quite hit that. I'll feel kind of dumb when we do eventually take off this ring, but hey, it puts our lance in a much better spot for damage, so not the end of the world one way or another. And let's just pop in here and take care of our final statue. Perfect. And not too shabby here. There we go. All of our options open to us for Hell, but once again, before we head in here, I think I will just be heading off to Pan. In fact, we take a look, where can we find our entrances? Let's head up this direction, shall we? It's always risky. Of course, the big thing with Pan is once you've entered a floor, you'll never see it again. And that includes all of the rune floors, so you have to be ready to handle whatever comes your way. Not super hot on our ability to deal with Glor Vox or whatever their name is. We don't have a lot of resistance to negative here. Most of the other options, not too bad. We can swap into full fire resistance. I don't know, can we swap into full cold resistance? Not quite, so that could be something that we run and pick up before we head down. Our elect is something we also will definitely want against Lam Laban, but we can always get that if we need to. We have some resistance potions. We have Gozag to just beg for all the potions in the world if we need to. Who knows? But while we think about this, mull it over and decide, I'm going to take just a quick little break here. I'm going to run out, pour some food for the doggo, maybe grab a refill for my beverage while I'm at it, and then we'll continue off into Pan and kind of fully jump into the extended Glade game officially here. So definitely don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a second. And yeah, I'll see you soon.